Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good
Yes.
afternoon. A pleasant afternoon to everyone. So I hope everyone is already welcomed in to our virtual alumni event of the ISS for the year 2022. We are proud to host this event. This is the second time around that we're doing this. And we'd like to, of course, welcome all our alumni and students as we, of course, created this event to draw speakers from DISS's new network of alumni who will share their experiences, stories, and advice to help you decide what is the best qualification to help and shape your career path moving forward. And of course, we're hoping still with us as a proud DISS alumni. Okay, so without further ado, to formally welcome us to this event, I'd like to call in our DISS Unit Manager for E-Learning. Let's give it up for Mr. Azhar Salim. Mr. Azhar?
Yes, thank you very much, Jessica. So good afternoon. Welcome, everyone. I hope everyone is well and safe today. It gives me immense pleasure to address you all on this auspicious occasion of DSS second virtual alumni meet. DSS has a tradition to stay connected with their students. So continuing with this tradition, we are meeting today for this event. Kindly allow me to express my gratitude toward each and every one of you present here for giving us your valuable time. I believe that the experiences that we will all have from this event will be worth the time you all had spared. Today is an important day for all of us. It provides us an opportunity to meet our fellow students, to see our former tutors, and obviously meet DSS staff as well. It also enables the alumni to have an update about changes and developments that DSS had carried out since last 1 year. DSS, since its inception in 2006, it has rapidly achieved prominence in Qatar with flexible learning solutions. From your experience with DSS, you would know that DSS follows virtual learning standards when it comes to an efficient training, delivery, and consultancy solutions. It is an ISO 9001-2015 certified organization, which means that we maintain quality standards while delivering our training and consultancy solutions. It is no doubt Qatar's leading training and consulting institution. This feat wouldn't have been possible without management commitment for quality delivery, our dedicated tutors, our committed staff members, and of course, not without you guys, our passionate learners. DSS have always learned from all the facets of life, from management personnel to technical field experts, from fresh graduates to experienced professionals, from HSC expert to freshers who wish to shift their career to HSC. This combined with our experienced tutors and their passion for teaching results in an excellent learning experience for them. DSS is always there to assist our students in pursuing a new career in HSC, moving to a higher level in their career, or enable themselves to make higher responsibilities in their professional life. We have the pleasure of serving not only the local students in Qatar, but students from so many different countries and other nationalities as well. I would now like to praise our alumni for the role they are playing in the society by not only protecting life of others, but helping in creating a sustainable environment for our future generations. We are proud that our alumni are showcasing outstanding performance in their professional careers. In the end, I would like to express my gratitude towards all of you for your participation and support. You have always extended toward DSS. Hope you all have a good and memorable time ahead. Thank you very much.
Let's give a hand for Mr. Azhar Salim. Thank you so much, Mr. Azhar.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Azhar. Okay, so before we informally introduce the experienced speakers that we have today, I would like to let everyone know to stay tuned ahead of our program because we will be having a raffle draw of international certification courses. Okay, total, I think we'll be having 6 winners. So stay tuned for that because we'll be providing DIS safety officer courses, Nebosh HSC, and IEMA courses as well. So total, we'll have 6 winners towards the end of this program. So aside from, of course, the knowledge that we'll earn, of course, additional learning we'll be getting from our experienced speakers today, 6 lucky winners will be taking home these courses later on. All right. Okay. So of course, it's my privilege to introduce our first speaker. Okay, with the topic of health and safety trends in 2022. What's in store for the HSC industry 2 years into COVID-19? All right. So for that, of course, I'd like to welcome the safety and health specialist from Vodafone Qatar. Okay, Mr. Johnbosco Chukwudi Eze. Okay, John is a professional in emergency and disaster management from Georgetown University, Qatar, an occupational safety and health practitioner with 13 years of experience. Having a sound knowledge on health and safety laws, legislation, and regulations, he has developed COVID-19 response plan for Qatar National Convention Center, assisted in the development and implementation of a safety and health management for Khatib and Alami, for which he has been awarded IRSM Qatar Certificate of Appreciation for his contribution to the organization in 2018 by Mark Stevens. So, without further ado, our first speaker, let us welcome Mr. Johnbosco Chukwudi Eze. Let's give him a warm welcome, everyone. John, take it away.
Hello, good afternoon all. Thank you for inviting me today. And I must say it's a pleasure to join friends from across the industry for today's event. And I hope that we'll be able to gather soon in person once again to feel each other's arms, I would say, and discuss face-to-face as restrictions have been lifted. So I should start by saying that I'm honored to be here to be one of the speakers. So let's get right into it because I think I have limited time, 10 minutes. Am I right?
10 to 15 minutes.
All right, then. I would start by introducing this topic by saying COVID-19 pandemic has created tremendous uncertainties for us all. All of us, no matter where we are or race we belong to, religion or organization we belong to, has actually felt the impact of the virus, directly or indirectly. The health, mental, and also economic concerns abound. But there has been nothing short of crisis for the society, and the reverberations will continue for years to come, owing from the pandemic. Many have argued that the pandemic had changed society permanently. We won't know for sure, but after some time, we will come to review if that statement holds true. And we certainly don't know what those lasting impacts would be. But my strong suspicion is that our societies, our industry, cannot go through upheavals of this nature and simply return to life as it was before. So that begs the question, what's next? It's a question that we can ask about almost anything in our lives that has actually had a touch from the pandemic. So how will our working patterns evolve going forward? And to kick off my slides, I have some content for presentation. Start with an introduction and COVID in relation to health and safety, the importance of health and safety today for tomorrow, the dynamics of health and safety, and this actually entails what's in store for health and safety going forward, how COVID-19 has continued to raise the bar for health and safety. Then I will summarize by talking about the new mindset driving the future success of health and safety. All right, then let's go. COVID-19 was first introduced, and all of my basis and assumption for this session is as a result of gathering statistics and data from the contractors I work with and the organization I've worked with. So please bear that in mind while we go forward. COVID-19 was first discovered in Qatar on the 29th of February 2020, although it started in 2019 in Wuhan, China. That's why the name COVID-19. If it were to be in 2020, it would have been COVID-20. So it's 19 because it actually started in 2019. And as per the MOPH, as of the 3rd of January this year, over 3,191,651 have been tested in Qatar. So these are the numbers of people that were tested for COVID-19. It goes a long way to show you how widespread this virus have gone through within our communities. It has closed business, schools, workplace. People have been put out of work, and I was part of. I was affected, being made redundant at QNCC when the pandemic started. So most deliveries could not be accomplished or were delayed owing to manpower displacement. Companies started enacting policies, and the burden was on them to protect their workers and of course, business. Part of those burdens and policies enacted by management were shared to health and safety practitioners to ensure compliance. And somewhere within this line where I've always faced, I would say, confusion or healthy debate among practitioners is should COVID be reported as a reader. But as per the reporting of injuries and diseases and dangerous occurrences regulation of 2013, there is no requirement under RIDO to report COVID-19 incident of diseases or death of members of the public. The reporting requirement relating to COVID, relating to these cases of death from COVID-19 under RIDO only applies to occupational exposure. That is as a result of a person's work. So if someone is carrying out a work and he is infected or he got infected with the virus, then you should report this. But the thing is, we should only make a report under RIDO when one of the following circumstances applies: an accident or incident at work which could have led to the release or escape of the coronavirus. This must be reported as a dangerous occurrence. A person at work or a worker who has been diagnosed as having COVID attributed to an occupational exposure to coronavirus. This must be reported as a case of a disease. And of course, a worker who dies as a result of occupational exposure to coronavirus. This must be reported as a work-related death due to exposure to a biological agent. So these three points here are circumstances which you must report to your management and in turn to the Ministry of Labour as cases under RIDO 2013. So going forward is the importance of health and safety today for tomorrow. We all know the risks that come from working in our industries, and we fully understand that the need to care for the people's health, to keep them safe, and to do everything we can to protect the environment. That's why we chose on this profession. But if we think about what the future of health and safety looks like, the truth is none of us really knows for sure, because of this I would say non-conformities or non-confunders because of the pandemic. And there is simply too much uncertainty to say with confidence of how our industry, the health and safety practice would evolve. Our foundations, though, are solid, with good practices and deep expertise, all built upon many years of learning. So we have resources, we have personnel, we have the human capital there to actually guide and steer the industry in the right direction which we should go. We also value the importance of health and safety, and we're always looking to improve. It's a good start. It's a good start. Our experience has also taught us that one of the best ways to start a big project is to set the right parameters. And I would lay out these three areas for us to consider. First, we need to have the right design concept. This will help us set off in the right direction. Context is crucial here. Second, we need to have the right tools that will allow us to make the right design realities. Human performance. We should begin not to see humans as problems in part of the bigger circle, but as problem solvers. In this way, we shall actually get on and go past the effect of COVID-19. Digital transformation and prioritization of tasks, or what should I say here, items that in the long run could deter the industry from your industry or your organization from achieving their set goals. It could be their yearly KPIs or their look ahead plan for 5 years. So these are things we should actually sit down and assess, ensure that we have the right tools: human capital, digital, and prioritization of achieving KPIs. Thirdly, we need the right approach, which would enable us to bring to life our ideas in a way that resonates to the wider society. So while we're talking about steering our practice to the next level, then we should solely or seriously consider sustainability, because it's a word which is widely acceptable by everyone, and it's something we should also uphold. So the dynamics of HSE, I would say what's in store for health and safety practitioners. We now have to expand our scope to remain relevant in the industry, and I will tell you why. This should be achieved by staying side by side or working side by side or juxtapositional self to management, advising them, and also ensuring that they have the right information before they make their decisions. Fortunately, I've been able to sit with key making individuals in organization, and until you come that close, you would most likely not know that many people in management, they have no clue or what they should do as regards to health and safety. They know probably where they should look for information. For example, we're talking about COVID, yeah? They know they could go to MOPH, they know they could go to the World Health Organization, and but beyond that, how can they apply such information to real-time practice? In the sense, I should say, how can they ensure they have a great design, right tools, and other capitals to ensure that they have motion, they have these items in place to go forward. It's very difficult for them, and that's why we're here, and that's why we're there. People might see you as probably you're just an addition to the circle, but no, health and safety should be seen as, in this year and this time, as a key role in every organization. So in looking at these dynamics, we should look at the next slide. And these are the trends of health and safety for 2022, and probably going forward, this might be the new norm. So we now have a change in workplace definition. Before now, we would actually say the office where you sit in. The office space is your workplace, but because of remote working, working from home, these have really changed the definition of a workplace. Now, health and safety practitioners should begin to factor in hazard risk associated with working from home. Because when I probably work from home during this the pandemic, when I worked from home, there was issue with ergonomics. I had a study table, but I was using it for some other business in general. But most often than not, I find myself sitting on my living room table, which is lower, and me sitting on the couch, and I'm always crouching forward to actually work on my computer. Until aches started coming in, I started considering my position for work, and I had to reconsider how best can I work within my present environment that wouldn't take a toll on my health or on my musculoskeletal system. So health and safety practitioners should begin to accept the reality that, yes, many companies would begin to tell their staff to work from home. First of all, it's cheaper for them. It will make them save resources, especially when they don't have to come into the office to carry out a task. I'm talking about construction now. Construction is a different ballgame together. For example, in Vodafone, where I am today, a whole function in a department up to today still works from home. So that is what it is, and it's a reality, something we should really consider. Then supply chain fragmentation. Just next to me, behind me, if you could see there, is the Department for Supply Chain, and they usually face a big challenge. And not also them, but my contractors, they've said the same thing. I have about 9 contractors I'm managing. So there is mostly, because of the pandemic, there are mostly shortages to key personal protective equipment, especially. We do get our full body lanyard. They used to climb the monotowers, the telecom marks, from either Gravity or Kaya. But because of the pandemic and all that freezed up things, when we were supposed to get new batches for the contractors, there was none. We couldn't find any. Both Kaya had none in stock here in Qatar. Even back in Turkey, where it's been manufactured, they couldn't keep up with the tax of delivering as demand was. So there was a shortage in supply. That almost resulted in us to resort to something or another option. But when I stepped in and they gave me the proposal and I actually looked at it, and I found out that it was cheap. It was a good alternative for business, but it didn't meet up to the standard which Vodafone had already set out for the contractors and everybody. So this is something we should watch out for, to ensure that PPEs we are getting, because we are going for an alternative, we shouldn't compromise on the standard and the quality of such materials. There is also an acceleration in digital transformation to assure business continuity, and every businesses or every company or every organization needs to adopt a method or two in shifting towards technology, allowing technology to take a toll. For example, here in the offices, how can we actually account for staffs that come to work and those that work from home? What was being done before here in Vodafone is that, although we have a key tag, an ID card that has your name and all that in place, we couldn't. No one was logging in. The managers knew who came to work, and so because it's a free working environment and management encourage this. Yes, you must not report to the office for them to actually know you work. Your manager knows what you're doing. But because of this work from home thing, but some people need to come to the offices, we had to change the access card to include a chip, an RFID inside it, and install speed gates here. So on a weekly basis or on a daily basis, we know the number of staff that had accessed the offices, so that we could maintain the 60% work in office and 30% work from home. In such ways, businesses are beginning to catch up with that. And this tool is a nice tool, which I had used often than not to actually assess attendance in the offices, both in Mishreb and in Lusail, and also follow up with those who work from home if they have any challenges, things that we should consider health and safety wise, which we shall see going forward. So the next thing is on demand of workforce. So there have been an increase in the construction side with my contractors for the workforce. When the pandemic came, things actually slowed down, I'll tell you the truth. And a lot of guys were laid off. Out of a sudden, even down here in the offices, there was a need to employ people to fill up a gap just to deliver a thing on the set time to meet a target. So people were being brought in both on the field, on site, and in the offices. And quickly, before you could say Jack, there are about 10, 20 people already sitting down in the office, and these guys were new. So it was a burden for me to keep up with who is coming in. How competent is this guy? Has this guy got necessary training to carry out his job? So this is where health and safety practitioners would need to focus and keep up with, because I tell you, unless there is no other way. But the good thing is, as much as the variants come in, it's much more lighter than the first variant. So we might not see an increase in on-demand workforce, but it might spike. But if this comes along, and we should be prepared and know where to look at. Well-being agenda is something that had plagued most of our staff, to tell you the truth, in particular, because many of them were working from home. They are living their life just like in a circle, indoors, not going out, and it took a toll on their mental health. And the other part was people that were coming to work, they need to cover a lot of tax of those not coming to work, and they were demanding for financial more benefits, because they were carrying out more tax than usual. So the mental part is one that actually took a toll on a lot of people, because at a point we found that people were no longer productive as usual, because it was like they were caged in a place. They wake up from their bed. Most of them work from their pajamas. They don't exercise routinely. But when I got hold of this information and I started carrying out a survey, we actually started encouraging staff to carry out routine exercise. Instead of us closing by 4 p.m., we closed by 2 p.m. and we encourage staff to use the remaining 2 hours to carry out exercise indoors within their living room, because the gyms were closed. Less people were going out to the park to exercise and all that. So well-being is something health and safety practitioners would have to focus on, because people could be suicidal or even worse or less because of their mental health status. Definitely the last, but not the least, is virtual training. We should learn to see this as a choice. Before, if you decide to tell someone, please, can I take the training online? And we say, no, it doesn't account for training because it's online. But when the pandemic really came in, it actually showed that people could be trained, and this tool could be used as a means to actually get people informed about things, i.e. training. So virtual training is something that would be on the increase, I believe, and we as health and safety practitioners should look for ways to ensure that people get quality information of virtual training. There are still some trainings that can't be done virtually, like those that involve practice and real-time exercise. But when it has to come with trainings as in soft skills training, then we have to actually assess how well this training had been given virtually and take a survey what they've actually learned from it. So in summary, I would say that with the rapidness of changes we are undergoing as a society, if people and companies do not change with the new reality, they will be left behind. And it will be difficult feat to catch up with the number of iterations of change. As technology-embedded transformation is imperative, new mindset for humans will be the driver to see a successful implementation to propel businesses forward. But for health and safety practitioners, there are more challenges to overcome in the shifting workplace. Thank you.
All right. Sir John, hello, good afternoon. Yes. I actually have a question from one of our participants. If you kindly entertain it. Can you hear me, Sir John?
Okay. Yes,
Okay,
I can hear you, please.
Yeah, so the question is, would you consider the use of smart PPE as part of the HSE transformation you are looking for?
Yes, and that's something I've actually thought of. It's something in the works now with some of our contractors. The truth is, smart PPE is a way forward to this transformation we're talking about. If we have, for example, helmets, for example, that has cameras and probably that has sensors in it, they can actually transform the way workers perceive health and safety. Okay, let me put it this way. Although it will be expensive, but there is, I know of a lab in Texas that is developing a hard hat, a helmet with sensors embedded and a camera that can actually record events And if you are approaching probably an obstacle to bump your head into, the helmet actually vibrates in that part of where you're about bumping your head into, notifying you of an object there. So I believe smart PPE is not only helmet also, but hand gloves. They could actually help people to avoid probably hand injuries. For example, putting sensors and thermal. There's a new technology that detects how hot or how cold an object is for people working on electrical installations, notifying them that probably this is a live wire. There have been no lockout tag out, or there have been no isolation carried out on this. So I believe smart PPE is a way going forward.
All right. Okay, I hope that answers the question of one of our participants. Okay, at this point, I'd like to, of course, thank Mr. Johnbosco. I hope everyone has, gotten some kind of knowledge about that, because, of course, the way to move forward with and after the pandemic is just to be safe and sturdy about it. Thank you so much, Mr. John. Thank you. Let's give a hand to Mr. Johnbosco for our first topic of the day. Thank you, Sir John. I believe that was the only question that we can entertain at the moment, because we still do have speakers on the line. But later on, we'll be entertaining more questions for you. All right? Okay, so please stay tuned. Now, at the moment, like I said, I won't be prolonging it because we have a lot to learn. And at this point, of course, we'll be moving on to our second speaker of the day. This is, of course, Miss Ruth Peggy Grace Lackay. Okay, she'll be talking about her experience with DISS and how it has enhanced her career in the HSE field. Okay, Miss Ruth Peggy Grace is a healthcare practitioner with 14 years of experience in the pre-hospital setting. She has held numerous positions as a project manager, EMS chief, and assistant hospital manager in austere and urban environments. Currently, she is facilitating subjects on the Advanced Diploma in Healthcare Management with Central University of Technology. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome Ms. Ruth Peggy Grace Lackay, our registered critical care paramedic, our second speaker for the day. Let's give her a big hand and warm welcome, everyone. Ms. Ruth, take it away.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let me start my video. Good afternoon. Welcome to the session. My topic, as just introduced, is my experience with DISS so far with my career. I don't know if everyone can see my screen and whether you can all hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Loud and clear, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. So that was a brief introduction. As you can see, I've worked in numerous places, both hostile, austere, and urban areas. So I have a bit of pre-hospital background, as well as mining, health and safety, hospital, and in Qatar, I ended up at Hamad as a critical care consultant paramedic. Of recent, I am a lecturer with Bloemfontein University, facilitating on the Advanced Healthcare Management diploma. So as you can see, most of my background is in healthcare. I do have a national diploma, bachelor's, as well as an advanced diploma in project management specifically, and then a pending master's in emergency medicine. So by looking at my background, you could see that I started veering into project management specifically with new courses such as healthcare project management that's also coming up. That just makes you realize that there's more to being a clinician than being in hospital, in the pre-hospital, or in theater only field. So the occupational health and safety aspect, I looked into it while I was in Qatar, and that's actually when I was introduced to DISS. That being said, I did a few courses, which I will be discussing next. So my presentation will be much shorter than John's, but I can also add to what John's saying, and it is so true within healthcare, a lot of things have changed, and in the workplace, where as I was a freelance first aid trainer with this, and I always say this before I start a presentation, that healthcare has now become part of a normal job environment where before COVID, we used to go to work, whether you work in an office, on a construction site, wherever you find yourself, you would go to work and you would not have to worry about wearing a mask specifically. And I'm not speaking about a mask to prevent dust. I'm speaking about a mask to prevent actual bodily fluids and when someone coughs and cough particles. So in this case, since COVID starting, we now are having to look at other aspects. And so we've introduced healthcare into a normal work environment, but we've also taken people out of their normal work environment and we've put them in four walls. And I can attest to what John's saying, it does take a toll on mental health, especially healthcare workers right now are very, very tired. They are overworked because the pandemic has been ongoing. By now, lots of scientists and epidemiologists have thought that we would be seeing the endemic stage, but there are still a lot of increase and spikes in Europe currently, the UK, where they are seeing these numbers that are increased even in some parts of Asia. So I don't want to say we're not done with the pandemic, but it seems that like anything else in science, it's always evolving. And just like that, my career evolved as well. And this all happened during COVID. And that's when I started looking at courses such as Nebosh, GradIOSH, and Lead Auditor 45001, which I found very interesting specifically for my career. So let me just click. So with the DISS pathway, what I've learned with the Nebosh and the GradIOSH M&As was that it was highly recommended, and I would recommend it for anyone that's either thinking of starting a career in occupational health or that's in the career and you need to just add to whatever qualifications you currently have. And so I would strongly advise these courses as they are the gold standards in HSE, but also to help you progress within your career if this is a specific career you're looking for. The Nebosh courses, their syllabus is reflective of the workplace, very specific workplaces. So construction, whether you're in the cell phone industry, whether you are in the healthcare industry, no matter what industry, it's workplace specific. You gain a lot of practical skills by doing risk management assessments and always continuously practicing that during your course. With mine, I did mine online. So during the online courses, there was a lot of practical assessments and practice where you can use those skills and you actually gain that skills while you have to do your end exam. You were also given this opportunity to practice a risk assessment. And then the most important aspect for me was it broadens job opportunities. So I went from being a normal clinician to now someone that's looking at health and safety. And eventually I ended up in a lecturing position where I can use my health and safety and 45001 principles to help facilitate the course that I'm currently lecturing in, because these things are important. Just to go on from the Nebosh, with 45001, I've learned that it facilitates continuous improvement in the workplace. So one of the important things with 45001 and Nebosh specifically that I have benefited from was that it doesn't only look at risk only, but it looks at risk and opportunities, where it looks at staff morale and how it will impact staff turnovers and retention. So there's an actual return on investments for organizations, managers as well, because we are now looking at staff specific. So 45001 with the Nebosh was really, really beneficial. And that's when I actually started realizing that this is a career that I'm willing to venture in and to see myself grow in these positions, and currently now lecturing. So this is a best practice and it is internationally recognized. For myself, I've just recently submitted a few applications internationally, and to my astonishment, I've been successful, which means internationally this is recognized. And it's a really, really good course. DISS as well, I would like to thank them for the platform that they've created for the course. It was, as a student myself, since I've graduated up until today, I would say that it's painless, and it's convenient, and the lecturers, the facilitators are really interactive, and it really made my time easier, especially for someone that did not have an occupational background, but that could utilize this and could see my career change and take shape into occupational health and safety. And I'm now invested in this career. And I would like to thank DISS as well as the audience for the opportunity to present myself. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you so much, Ms. Ruth. Thank you for that. Such an insightful experience, that every one of our alumni could probably relate to. Now, I think we have time to entertain at least maybe one question. Ms. May, can you assist if we can choose one?
If you have any questions, guys, you can actually raise
Any
your
questions?
hand or just
You
put
can
it
raise
on
your
the chat
hand.
box. Mhm.
Okay, if hands are raised.
Okay, I have one here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
it says, do you think that the students you're lecturing about ISO 45,000 have really got the benefit that they can apply?
Ms. Ruth?
I
Yeah,
think,
who's
let
gonna
me
start?
clarify that. I was, with my first slide, you would see that I was a freelance first aid trainer, but specifically to the 5001 myself, I benefited from it because I could see that 45,001 doesn't only look at the risk. It doesn't only look at what the worker is doing wrong, but it keeps the organization responsible for safety management. That being said, that the organization needs to realize when they're allowing a worker on site and when they're allowing someone to come on site, that they are responsible overall for a worker, not only the individual entering a work site. And I think 45,001 has really highlighted that, where people need to be held responsible. We see it a lot in the construction industry across the world, not only specific to a certain country, but across the globe, where accountability is a bit of an issue. But with 45,001, they've introduced that employees actually have a say in different aspects, as well as where the safety management team has to try and get a buy-in from your lower laborers about policies and procedures, because in essence, that guy on the ground is the one that's doing most of the work. I don't know if I hope that answers the question.
All right. Thank you so much, Miss Ruth. Once again, let's give it up for Miss Ruth Peggy Grace Lackay. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing, of course, and answering that question. I do apologize if we're just trying to keep up with the schedule that we have, because we still have a few speakers on the line. And of course, with that in note, let us welcome, of course, our third speaker for the day to share his experience with DISS and how it has shaped his career path. I'd like to, of course, it's my privilege to welcome Mr. Wendell Ligot, okay, the lead health and safety environment. So basically, just a brief background of Sir Wendell. Wendell is a health, safety, and environment professional with 18 years of experience in the field of health and safety in various industries, including project management consultancy, construction, cable manufacturing, and aviation, who is committed to support in fully empowering the highest levels of HSE practices and standards Wendell is currently working on his IOSH initial professional development to become a chartered member and plans to take Project Management Professional or PMP certification before the year ends. Okay, so once again, without further ado, let us welcome Mr. Wendell Ligot. Sir Wendell, please take it away.
Yeah, thank you very much, Jessica. Good afternoon, everyone. So let me share my screen right now. You can see my screen right now.
All's good.
Yes, we do.
We do.
Thank you. Okay. Good afternoon. So first of all, I want to greet DISS a happy 15th anniversary, and I wish more successful years to come. Also, thank you for inviting me as a guest speaker and to be part of this very special occasion. In a few months, I will be completing 1.5 decades of my professional career in health and safety here in Qatar. Yes, same with DISS. It will also be my 15th year anniversary. So cheers for reaching this milestone in spreading safety in everywhere. Before I start my talk, may I ask how many in this room have started their career not as a safety professional? Well, some of may have worked as an aircraft engineer in aviation industry, or an architect in construction company, or probably a nurse from a hospital, or maybe a technician in automotive firm. Perhaps a teacher from one school university, or a bank security, possibly an office administrator, or a worker at site. Did you ever ask yourself how you became a safety professional? Do you know that a lot of professionals are performing tasks similar to HSE? I'll be mentioning a few examples of other professionals versus HSE professionals. For example, number 1, aircraft engineer, evaluate the aircraft condition, while HSE perform risk assessment and analyze the effectiveness of engineering controls in place. Number 2 example, teacher, educate the students, while HSE conduct trainings to the workers. Number 3, architect makes a design of buildings, while HSE creates manuals suitable to project requirements. From the mentioned examples, other professionals perform tasks having the same method as the HSE professionals. That being said, I will ask you, is HSE an easy profession? No, it's not. HSE is not an easy job. Like other profession, HSE requires a lot of learning, understanding, communicating, critical thinking, and decision making. Early in my career, I was actually working as a site engineer. So what made me choose HSE as my profession? Back then, it was my choice. It was not my choice to make it. It was a project requirement. My employer at that time had gone through company restructuring and cost cutting. I had no choice when my employer told me to take over the HSE role. So I took HSE training, and from there, I developed my passion for health and safety. And then, of course, the rest is history. I came to Qatar in 2007, but I didn't know DISS until 2010, when I decided to invest in myself and have a long-term career in HSE. I took the following courses from DISS. I always believe that throughout one's career, there is always something first in your life that holds a special place in your memory that will have a major impact in shaping your professional career, professional future. Sorry. Ever since my first training.
Excuse me, Sir Wendell. Sorry, I
Yes,
think is your slide working? Because I think we're still in the screen. We're only seeing the cover. I'm not sure if which slide are you in. Sorry to cut you in. I just want to make sure that technically we're on the same page.
No,
'Cause we're
I'm on slide 5.
and we're only seeing slide 1.
Oh,
I don't know about anyone, but I'm only seeing slide 1 actually.
Wendell, can you scroll down to the slide number? So the
Yeah, and also click the presentation button.
wait. Did you see my screen right now?
yes, we can see.
But it's what's called this?
Yeah,
Not
now
the
it's
whole.
only slide 5. We're on slide 5 now.
Yeah, click there. Play there.
Yeah, but it's.
Yes, I think one slide is up. Who is my career partner in HSE?
What's this? How's that working again? Why? I cannot put in a whole the whole presentation.
It's fine, sir. I think you can just click on one slide after the other because I think it's just the outline, no? Then content will
Yeah.
of course be with you. It's fine. You can just toggle from one slide to another. It's okay. Yeah, sorry, you can proceed. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Sorry for that. Okay. So I'm on slide 5. Okay. So ever since my first training, I have considered the ISS as my career partner. The courses that I took from DISS had significant effect to why up to now I still have the same passion for health and safety. Its broadness, complexity, and essentiality made health and safety an interesting career to pursue. Through DISS, I became committed to support in fully empowering the highest level of health and safety practices and standards. Why DISS? Okay. Number 1, accredited by international certification bodies. There are over 10 international accreditations such as Nebosh, BSc, IOSH, IRCA, just to name a few. Number 2, certified and good teaching techniques. All instructors in DISS have one in common. They shared very useful strategies, practices to their students, thus making my training journey memorable. Number 3, comfortable training environment. During my first visit at their training center, I immediately felt at ease because the environment was relaxed. Training setups are well organized. Food is great, and good hygiene is always maintained. Number 4, employees are friendly and accommodating. All DISS personnel are kind, approachable, and very helpful. They assisted me throughout the process of my training application and always respond to my queries in timely manner. Number 5, reasonably priced. Quality over quantity at its finest. Okay, so for the last slide, as I continued my career in health and safety in various industries, I took different trainings and certification from DISS. The knowledge I acquired from the courses I have taken and the confidence I gathered from more than a decade of experience brought out the best in me throughout my entire career and will probably have great influence for the rest of my professional life. Thank you, DISS, for shaping my career in health and safety. And again, congratulations on your 15th year anniversary.
Let's give a big hand to Sir Wendell. Thank you so much, sir, for sharing with us your experience with DISS. All right, so I think we still have time to entertain maybe one question for Sir Wendell. I'm checking the chat box, but oh, I can see here Mr. Kennedy Mutia. Mr. Kennedy, you can unmute your mic and ask the question directly to Sir Wendell. Kennedy Mutia. Hello.
Yes, hello.
Yeah.
I was just giving an appraisal now. I didn't have a question.
Oh, okay. Thank you. All right.
Hello.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, Mr. Kennedy.
Yes, I was only giving an appraisal. I didn't have any question to ask.
All right. All right. No worries. How about a question from one of our audiences, maybe? All right. So if we don't have any questions, like I said, we still have a few topics, and of course, the raffle a little bit later. So if you don't mind, of course, we'd like to move on with the next part of our program. Once again, we'd like to, of course, thank you, Mr. Wendell Ligot. Thank you for your talk, sir.
Thank you.
We did,
Thank you.
Learn a lot of insight from your experience with DISS. It's a pleasure both ways. Thank you, sir. Now, of course, to share, this is another topic, all right, for health and safety trends in 2022 as well. Like, of course, we're still in that momentum of COVID-19, the impact that it has on us, like from the past and the present. So what's in store for the HSC industry 2 years, of course, into COVID-19. And for that in regard, I'd like to welcome our next speaker, Mr. Emmanuel Olyabiahely. I do apologize if I did not pronounce that right, but just to give a quick background or introduce our speaker, Mr. Emmanuel is actually a project occupational health and safety manager from Larsen & Toubro International, Qatar. Okay, he's an experienced HSC professional with over 12 years experience in the oil and gas industry, infrastructural projects, power and utility construction, and manufacturing. Emmanuel possesses expertise in writing and reviewing of work procedures, method statement, implementation, and reviewing of permit to work management systems, environmental management systems, and procedures. Work safety and training programs. He also possesses in-depth knowledge in auditing and reviewing of various site activities. So without further ado, I would like to welcome, of course, our next speaker, Mr. Sorry, 1 minute. Mr. Emmanuel Olyabiahely. Sir Emmanuel, please carry on.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate the introduction. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, thank you
Yes,
so
sir,
very
we
much.
can hear.
Good afternoon, everyone, and I thank the organizers, the ISS, for introducing these yearly interactive sections. We understand that this is an opportunity to learn, and for me in particular, it's an excellent opportunity as an occupational health and safety practitioner. The ISS is like my second home. I have done a lot of courses with them, and also I encourage people when they want to take any certification to do it with DISS. I also want to use this opportunity to congratulate them for achieving 15 years in business and helping a lot of people get the necessary certifications they desire. This afternoon we'll be just discussing briefly, because we have a limited time, we'll just talk briefly on health and safety trends in 2022 and the future for occupational health and safety practitioners. Health and safety is a very exciting and very lovely discipline. It's what I've done all my life, what I've enjoyed doing since I started working. But things have shifted drastically, especially with the COVID-19 pandemic. A lot has changed in our workplaces. A lot has changed in how we assess or develop our risk assessments. And a lot has changed for us as safety practitioners. COVID-19 has opened up so much unexpected events. Workplaces are faced with several changes, new introduction, like wear your face mask, social distancing, and all that. A lot of people lost their jobs, salaries were cut. I was affected at the time. There have been back and forth, on and off work. Although the economy is gradually showing signs of recovery, but people worldwide anticipate that COVID-19 is going to stay with us for a very long time.
Can we please mute our speakers while the speaker is talking?
Well, the question people ask now is, what are the lessons we have learned from the COVID-19 pandemic? Many employers have focused on infection prevention, which has been a norm when somebody gets or when somebody contracts COVID-19 in the workplace. There is disinfection. People are told to stay home for a long time. And also, people are brought back to work with the precautions in place upgraded. COVID-19 has opened us to infection prevention and control. The COVID-19 pandemic has also resulted in improved health and work condition. Now we have portable wash stations in our workplaces, and also for people that work like in the oil and gas industries, the welders and all other people, they are now using like a fire retardant mask instead of the normal or the conventional whatever mask we use, the surgical mask that we are using at the workplace. Then there is the issue of working from home. Although a lot of people enjoy this because they have the time to do some other things, it has also increased the burden on health and safety. especially in regards to display screen equipment and posture. The first speaker, Mr. Johnbosco, my senior colleague, mentioned why he was, or he gave a narrative for working from his home and how he had economic issues with his setup at home. COVID-19 has also introduced that. We have a posture issue, economic issues, there's increase in sleep, trips and fall at home. And also, there's anxiety on the part of the workers. Workers are afraid that maybe there's another rise in cases of COVID-19, their salaries will be cut, some of them will be laid off, and a lot of people have faced a lot of mental health challenges from the loss of loved ones and also from their loved ones falling ill with COVID-19. And also, there's also the part of costs. Employers have considered the cost of putting workplace control, reducing contacts, having additional maybe rest shelter for the workers where you have to practice and implement physical distancing, provision of ventilation, enforcing the use of personal protective equipment, the cost of always disinfecting the workplace and keeping the workplace clean. These are some of the things that have come with the COVID-19. All these have had a lot of impact on human resources, health and safety, and also it has also opened up many opportunities for a lot of industries and opportunities for the future, because many organizations are now embracing these trends, these new trends, and also putting in place all these mitigations at the workplace. Now, let's talk about the trends in 2022 that have come in place as a result of COVID-19. Now we see the increase in virtual reality trainings. Most organizations, they embrace online trainings, seminars, and webinars. Before, we used to conduct our meetings face-to-face. Now we now do it, you can be in your home and so on in somewhere, just conduct the meeting online over the phone and over the computer. At the workplace, we have increased virtual reality training. We have introduced applications for the workforce, for us to keep in touch with the training and the new trends. Most organizations are embracing it everywhere. Now there's also improved communication because most organizations have moved to this WhatsApp and other SMS services to send message and keep the workers and also the employees abreast of happenings in the workplace. A lot of smart devices have been introduced. Mr. Johnbosco talked about some wearables that have been introduced in the workplace. He talked about the headband. And also there is this ETERAS app that do contact tracing and monitoring like we have in Qatar. There's also some wearables that tell you you are coming in contact with hazard like he mentioned. We have smart gloves that measures hands and arm vibration syndrome and employee exposure. The use of mobile applications have increased. We have some other EHS software, the auditors, the checklist, and other EHS compliance tools. Employees and employers are beginning to embrace mental health issues because now we now care more for our loved ones. We now care more for our employees, the workers. We now check on them constantly when they are infected. We ensure that they are well and integrate them back to the workplace. People are beginning to embrace this aspect that have been neglected for a long time, and mental health is now on the lips of almost everybody in the workplace. I've talked about the software like the new EHS management systems and many more. And also, most importantly, health and safety practitioners are increasing their skills and competence, attending webinars online, getting more certification because they are afraid maybe they might be thrown out of the job because they don't have the necessary or the needed certification to stay on the job. Then we have the question, what is the future for the occupational safety and health practitioner? This starts with the employer. Without the employer, we will have no place to work. Employers need to do more. Employers need to provide adequate training for the workforce. Please, can you put up the next slide for the audience, please? Thank you. Employers need to do more. They need to provide training for the workers. Many organizations are beginning to embrace technology, so these employers also need to move along with these new trends. They need to embrace technology that plays a pivotal role and a very vital role in addressing the challenges associated with COVID-19. There is
Hi, please make sure your mics are muted. Our speaker is on the line. Thank you.
सब crazy हो गया है.
There's increase with data management. Workplaces are beginning to embrace many organizations are adopting technology. They're embracing data management, remote working. They're embracing training and education for the workforce. This is increasing the company safety culture, is building it, and also there is now employee engagement. So most workplaces need to embrace all these changes and also this new introduction as a result of COVID-19. The COVID-19 has broadened the perspective of many industries. We need to move from the traditional way of doing things and we need to move into the future. Technology is the future and it plays a very critical role in strategic planning and future success. What is in it for the health and safety practitioner? This is the very important question. People are afraid. People are asking if the COVID remains with us, what will be our job function? Are we still going to be relevant and all that? We are still going to be relevant as occupational health and safety practitioner. Although the future of health and safety poses a significant challenge because of the pandemic, there is new safety, environmental, and workforce development. But we as safety practitioners, we must broaden our knowledge. We must expand our focus to include these new hazards. We need to consider how to protect the health, safety, and well-being of the diverse workforce. We need to start to think beyond the box. We need to interact more. We need to do more certifications. We need to do more learning. We need to get into programs where we can think of how we can improve workplace processes. Now is the time for safety professionals to take lessons from the COVID-19 and make their organization stronger and more effective. We need to think of researches. We need to read wide and far. We need to embrace and learn how to use these new initiatives and technology. We need to learn data management, which is a very useful tool for remote work, because there might be a time the COVID-19, although places are beginning to open up, the cases might rise again and require everybody to work remotely. So you need to know how to use the computer and basic Microsoft programs, and beyond that. We need to embrace professional education and training. Like I've said before, we need to take short courses. We need to do professional certification program. We need to enroll. If you have a BSc, you should know that now is the time for you to move ahead and have a master's certificate in occupational health and safety, occupational hygiene, and any related occupational health and safety field, because this will be practical to staying abreast with the shifting trends in the industry, and also keep you on the job. Like I tell people, 2022 will be full of opportunities and accomplishments. You need to remain on the top of your game. Don't be afraid, embrace the technology, think outside the box, and at the end, I know you'll be very, very, very happy with what or how you have improved yourself. Thank you so very much. That is it. Thank you.
All right. So let's give a big hand to Mr. Emmanuel. Thank you so much. Thank you for that talk. Do we have, I think I actually have a question directed to you. Right now, we'll be entertaining some questions even for the speakers that are done with their topics, because now I do have a question for Mr. Wendell. Mr. Wendell, are you there? Mr. Wendell? Yes. So I have a question here. I'll just read it out in verbatim. Okay. Sir Wendell, this is from one of our participants. He's saying, "Hi, I'm an electrical engineer with Nebosh IGC in a tough job competition where reference matters more than education. Which education future is more beneficial with to job security, like let's say Nebosh diploma, ISO 45001, etc." So that's another question. Which was the best project you have worked in? Actually, sorry, that's two questions. So that's one question first. Like, what is more beneficial for job security? Nebosh, is it like, for example, Nebosh diploma or ISO 45001? Maybe you could give us an insight, sir.
Well, for me, both of them is beneficial. Well, because Nebosh, okay, it's related to all safety aspects of for the safety management system, while the while the ISO 45001 is is more on auditing process. Okay, so both of them is beneficial for you if you're gonna take it both, so it will be perfect. It's a perfect combinations.
All right, I hope that answers the question. I think I have another question for you, Sir Wendell. Basically, you're 15 years in Qatar. Actually, DISS is going to be celebrating its 16 years in the industry in Qatar. But for you, I have a question here. Which was the best project you have worked in Qatar, Mr. Wendell?
Best project. Well, all of them is best project because each project has it's a unique project that I have. Every project there's so many experience that I gain, I've learned, and at the same time, until now, all these different industries that I've worked on, I'm still gaining on this still putting in my bank to collect all the knowledge that I've learned before, and I'm using it in different aspect, even even simple matters is really you can share on to everybody, even for the workers, especially for the workers. They need a guidance for with regards to health and safety.
All right, thank you, Sir Wendell. I think, yeah, of course, with us garnering more experience throughout the years, it's just an additional, an under our belt, basically. And with you, with 15 years under that, it's a lot. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. Okay, so later on, maybe we'll have time to entertain a few more questions. But at the moment, before I introduce again our next speaker, I would like everyone to focus their attention on our screen as we will be playing one of a short video of the highlights from the previous years and months of training and everything that we've been throughout the ISS Academy. Okay, so please focus our attention. Thank you so much. Miss May, we're done with the video.
Okay, let's try to do that one more time, okay?
Okay, one more time, one more
Okay,
time.
one more time.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Miss May, for that. I hope everyone has caught a glimpse of the insights of the previous and I think maybe upcoming highlights of what has yet to come with the ISS. And on that note, all right, to give us an update and news for what has yet to come for the future and, moving forward with DISS. All right, I'd like to, of course, welcome our DISS manager for face-to-face training, Mr. Gopal Krishnan, to, discuss with us what is happening or what has yet to come. Sir GK, can I have you online? Yeah, take it away, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chaska, and everybody who attended here. So we have just shown you brief video on the achievements that we had in the last year. So just to get an update on that one, I would like to give a little bit of expansion to that particular things, that explanation to those things. Okay. So it's a very good opportunity that I'm here and I can see various previous students and the current students attending this meeting. Okay. So we are proud to say that we played a key role in spreading health and safety awareness among thousands of people in Qatar as well as in neighboring countries. In fact, we have already mentioned that 16 years, that is, we are running into 16 years now, and we have been in the market for these years with all market requirements, and we were fulfilling the client requirements of Qatar as well as the neighboring countries. And now our wings are spread to other nations because we have launched the virtual learning due to the pandemic situation. Okay. One of the key achievements that we had in the last year was we were awarded with the Gold Learning Partner status by Nebosh. So indeed, it's a very good achievement, very important achievement for us, because you can see in the Nebosh website, if you check that this is the only, we are only the one Gold Learning Partner with Nebosh in Qatar who offer courses to the public. Similarly, if you check the IRCA website, we are the only one in Qatar who are directly accredited with IRCA for providing ISO 45001. Of course, we do provide the trainings of ISO 9001 and 14001 in partnership with certain other licensed providers. The key features of many speakers here, they have already mentioned. My colleague, Mr. Azhar, as well as other distinguished speakers, they have already mentioned that DISS is here for the last 16 years. And I would like to say that DISS is a fully Qatari-owned organization, but our operations are not limited to Qatari market. We are spreading our wings to other areas of the world. Okay, we are having more than 10 international accreditations. You can see here at the bottom of the screen, there are various accreditations that we do possess. And we also have strong tie-up with international training providers across the globe. And we do have diversified expertise and good network of local and international trainers. The trainers from all over the world, they are participating in our programs, and they're sharing their knowledge and experience to the clients of DISS. We know that the pandemic in 2019 that gave the world a complete challenge. DISS and Qatar was not exception. So from 2020 beginning, we had to close down the doors of our organization as according to the Qatar national requirements. So the pandemic offered very serious challenge to each and everybody. And we at DISS, we believe that every challenges opens a door for opportunity. Ms. Ruth said that in her speech, ISO 45001, it's not only dealing with the risk, but it is also dealing with the opportunity. So we took this as an opportunity. The challenge that created by the pandemic was indeed an opportunity, and we took up the challenge and we bounced back to the market with suitable solutions within short period of time. So we started our online admission and payment systems during the pandemic situations, and we launched our self-paced e-learning solutions and e-learning certifications during the pandemic. We started virtual classes. Almost all our international courses are being conducted in virtual mode as of now. This really gave opportunity to the candidates. There is no need for worrying about gathering. There is no need of worrying about the traveling due to the restrictions. However, there are challenges in the virtual learning as well, because the network bandwidth issue, that is also a problem. However, there is a very good response, and we are one of the leaders in virtual learning in Qatar. We also introduced blended courses. So majority of our international courses, such as Nebosh courses, more than 6 courses are actually migrated to the learning management system that we have. And now all these courses are being conducted in blended mode. 3 ISO courses, ISO 45001, 14001, and 9001, all the 3 courses were migrated to our blended mode. So the blended mode is working very well for us now and for the candidates. A few high field courses and IEMA approved courses are also being placed in learning management system, and it is being provided in blended mode. Now, many people, they may be worried about what is the difference between the virtual learning and blended learning. Okay, virtual learning, it is a instructor-led learning, but there are limitations to that one. But the blended mode, it is actually offering a combination of live online sessions while within the learning management system. What are the benefits associated with this blended mode? One can easily say that it is including the live Zoom session with instructor, and of course there are some recordings which are available for the candidates to refer even up to certain period of time, maybe 10 days to 1 week to 10 days. The learners can log into the learning management system. They will be able to play the videos so that they are getting repeated courses, correct? Repeated interaction or repeated exposure to the topics. So that will make them more clear about the topic. And of course, they can always come back to the tutor for clarification. The course progress, students' progress, that are all monitored, and it is reported by the LMS. So the instructor can easily monitor the students' progress, and they can give feedback and give advice on that one. So this is another important aspect of blended learning. Pre-reading materials, reference links, case studies, etc., all are available at one point, and with one click, the students will be able to download it and they can use that one. The takeaways that are provided in the learning management system or the blended mode, it is actually the brief summary of the topics. So it is very easy for the learner to go through that one. Instead of going through the complete textbook, it's for the refresher. So they can just go through the takeaways. So they will be able to recollect all those things that they have already discussed in the classroom session. I hope everybody can read me. Hello? Yeah, yes. Okay, fine. Yes, so there are also provision for group exercises, group discussions using the breakout rooms. Of course, this is also available for the virtual mode, the normal virtual training. However, these group exercises and discussions, definitely these are all converted into records. Actually, the people have to complete the exercises. Even though they are doing the group exercises, individually they have to complete everything based on the group exercise, group discussion that they have done. So it is enabling the people to have collaborative learning. Now, mock examinations for the practice, that is also present in the learning management system, blended mode. And of course, apart from the blended mode, we are also providing the practical hands-on exercises on mock examination for keeping the people their moral high, and the weakness will be highlighted and it can be discussed and overcome. Tutor support and feedback within LMS within the course. So definitely always they can send the messages and the tutor will be responding to them in a timely manner. Of course, there are so many limitations or every tutor will be facing, and within a reasonable period of time, maybe within 1 or 2 days, definitely even after the course, the tutors are providing the clarifications. Now, the learning management system enables a tutor, enables a student to complete the complete modules, each and every modules from A to Z. And once they have completed their course up to 10%, they can download the e-learning or the e-complete certificate. That means electronic certificate of the completion can be downloaded by the student themselves. So we are accredited to provide Nebosh International Diploma for Occupational Health and Safety Management Professionals. I believe majority of the people are aware about that one. DISS is accredited to provide Nebosh International Diploma courses through all the modes of learning. It can be face-to-face, it can be part-time, it can be full-time, it may be the virtual learning, LMS, e-learning, all the modules we are approved by Nebosh. Okay, our first batch with full strength, it is running now, and majority of the people are satisfied. And of course, the second batch it is being planned, and it may be starting maybe within this month or maybe the early next month. Okay, please come to the website and check what is the date of next clause, next date, and you can always contact our sales team for getting more information. Okay. Now, one of our most important business area is on-site training and classroom training. That is face-to-face training, regular trainings. But this is one of the core area of our business. We provide a wide array of courses depending on the customer needs and these courses are provided in compliance with the COVID protocol that is present within the country. So due to the pandemic, we closed our doors for a certain period of time, but when the pandemic COVID protocol that was relaxed to open the doors, definitely we started from there onwards, and we are following the COVID protocols, and based on that one, we are conducting the classes on site as well as in DISS. Okay, we also provide supports to the clients, corporate clients especially, in organizing various activities such as seminars, safety day programs, etc., in their site according to their requirement. Another specialties we have is the customization of training. Organization who needs training that are specifically developed for them. Definitely, many companies are approaching us for developing the trainings according to the work requirement or the site requirement of those particular organization. And we are capable of doing that one, and we have a lot of specialties for that area. We are aware that technology and methodology of the work that has been changed a lot due to the pandemic challenges, and of course, as the technology is improving, definitely that improvement that will be put in place in the work area, which will introduce various new challenges and the risk to the workers and the work practices. So we are working on those areas, and you can expect a few more courses in the coming months to meet the challenges. Do check our websites and social media platforms for the updates and announcement of the new courses. The next update I want to give you regarding the Hsc Consultancy. So our consultancy division offers various services across varieties of industry sector in Qatar. So it may be including the manufacturing, construction, facility management, food industry, to name it a few. So our consultancy services include ISO consultancy. That means ISO 9001, 14001, 45001, and IMS. That include development of and implementation of health and safety management system or a consent management system, whether it is environment, whether it is quality or integrated management system. We are developing and implementing that one. Preparing organizations for third-party audit and certification. Awareness programs to the staff for the implementation part. So these are all done by DISS as of now. Now, health and safety consultancy. We have expanded our consultancy to various areas such as health and safety audit, inspections, preparation of HSE plans for the organizations or for the projects, conducting asbestos surveys, fire risk assessments, water risk assessment and Legionella survey, etc. are a few services that we are providing now to the clients according to the requirements. And we have various clients from the government sector as well as private sector, reputed clients. Environmental field, our consultancy services that is stretched to preparation of construction environmental management plan, that is CEMP, OEMP, Operational Environmental Management Plan, environmental impact assessment, environmental audit, greenhouse gas accounting, environmental compliance report, air and noise modeling, waste management plan. We also provide spill emergency response plan, ambient air monitoring. Ambient air monitoring will be very important in the coming days. And of course, indoor air quality monitoring. That will be very, very serious in the coming days because of a high number of foreign nationals coming into the nation in the wake of World Cup. Okay, so indoor air quality monitoring is being provided by us. Noise modeling, ambient air monitoring, these are all certain services in the health and safety consultancy field, Hsc consultancy field. Now we always value its students and maintain a long-lasting relationship. So we have seen a few people, they have already discussed you, they have already expressed their gratitude towards health and towards the DISS and its services. We always maintain the relationship. Okay, so we introduced a student benefit program last year, which offer various services. So it is already available there in our website. You can always view that one from the website itself. So a few points that I need to focus here are, we can see that free consultation and mentoring offered by DISS trainees. Free consultation, if you have any concern regarding your career path, we will be able to guide you, we will be able to mentor you. Okay, it is free of cost. Now we have an Hsc career path portal is available there. You can submit your CVs, and wherever the requirements comes, we'll be able to contact you. So you will be getting an opportunity to speak to other prospective employers. So we will be working as a mediator only. So sometimes we will also have our own requirements. So you may be absorbed by DISS. We have the requirement for consultants. We have the requirement for freelance trainees. Okay. Now returning student discounts. So this was introduced in last year, and still we are continuing it. So when you have completed a course and after a period of time, if you want to come again for another course, definitely you can expect a discount from DISS. Free access to selected self-paced courses. Already I have mentioned that we have various self-paced courses in our LMS. It includes one of the important courses from Nebosh, that is Nebosh Incident Investigation. So we have a short course there, self-paced course, and it was being introduced in last year, and we had very good response so far. Okay, then free access to Nebosh revision classes. So these are all certain services provided to the students, to name it a few. Visit our website for more details. What are the services that we can offer without a cost to our students? Now, I just wanted to introduce a few updates from Nebosh. Okay, this is regarding a new course that was introduced recently here. It is actually Iarsm and Nebosh certificate in managing risk. Okay, this is one of the updates from Nebosh. Of course, we have not launched this course so far, and we are not approved for so far. And this is not a marketing place. This is only to give you an information. So this particular course was developed by Iarsm and Nebosh jointly. And this is meant for anybody who wants to be able to identify, evaluate, and manage organizational risk and understand their impacts. So I mentioned organizational risk. So it is not only limiting the area of learning to health, safety, or environment. It's a broad subject. Okay. So anybody who want to manage the risk, it's a business risk management. Okay. It is particularly relevant to risk professionals looking to gain broader view of the risk beyond a specialization, such as health, safety, or quality, or business continuity. Okay, so you can have broader knowledge about the risk management by going through this course. So you will learn the principles of risk and risk management, the risk management process and framework based on ISO 31000, the relationship between psychology and decision making, how to analyze the environment in which the organization operates, identifying the potential risk and opportunities, the relationship between risk management, business continuity, crisis management, and organizational resilience. So anybody who wishes to join this course, they can send an inquiry to us. Definitely we will be able to help you with more details and how can you join this course. Okay, this course is a 28 hours self-study course. It is done from the comfort of your room. It's an e-learning course with 1 hour on-screen multiple choice examination. So it is a level 3 course, just like our Nebosh IGC. It's a level 3 on the same level, and with much easier examination method, much broader area for learning, and a multiple choice examination with a low cost when compared to Nebosh IGC. The next one, again an update from Nebosh. It is Hsc and Nebosh. So Nebosh Hsc course, okay, certification in manual handling and risk assessment. Again, the syllabus was developed jointly by Hsc and Nebosh. Anyone who involved in assisting in managing the manual handling activities in the workplace, they can go for this course. So it may include health and safety professionals, workplace champions, employee representatives, or occupational health practitioners. Anybody who can venture into this course and identify what are the requirements and how to analyze and how to assess professionally the manual handling risk associated with their activities and how to manage them in a professional manner. Okay, so this qualification will help you to recognize, assess, and reduce manual handling risk, gain transferable skills, and it can be used in any organization, industry, or any job. So you will be building confidence in your manual handling risk assessment capabilities. Again, it is having only 1 unit, and this is a taught unit, 1 day course, and 1 hour practical examination there. So these are 2 new courses launched by Nebosh. I just wanted to give an update on this particular 2 courses. If anybody is interested, yes, definitely they can contact us. We have not launched it, and we are not approved for training it and providing it as of now. So we will be sending an email to you, a survey email, whether you are interested in or not. Then we will be able to help you. You can respond to the survey, then we'll be able to help you in this regard. So that's all from my side for the updates from DISS and from Nebosh, one of the most common and most important learning partner or the learning provider. Okay, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Sir GK. Thank you. But I actually have like I think a few questions from our audience. And I think any of our speakers can address this, you know, because actually they want to know, like they're asking, what is the difference between 45,001 and 9,000? Okay. I think this is for Nebosh. Yeah. Maybe Sir GK or Mr. Azar can give us an insight about this.
ISO
45,001 and 9,000.
Yeah, okay. ISO 45,001 is dealing with the health and safety aspects of your business. So it is all about the health and safety management system and the standards that needs to be followed for certification in occupational health and safety. So ISO 45,001 is dealing with the health and safety, while ISO 9001, that is regarding the quality management. Okay, it's not health and safety, it is the quality. That's the main difference. Both standards are from ISO only. So both are auditable and certifiable management system standards. That's all.
All right. Thank you, Sir GK. I have another question. I think this is regarding Nebosh, because they're asking, like, with Nebosh or being certified maybe of Nebosh, what are the relative chances of landing a job in the occupational health and safety sector? Sir Azar, maybe? Or
What are them?
with Nebosh, what are the relative chances of landing a job in the occupational health and safety sector?
Okay, fine. Azhar, you want to answer this?
DK, if you want, you can go ahead, else, or else I can answer it as well.
Okay, fine. So, occupational health and safety field, of course, all over the world, they are looking for a qualification from Nebosh, especially Nebosh IGC is one of the most sought after qualification in health and safety. So in Qatar, definitely, if you want to join as a safety officer and start a career as a safety officer or shift your career to safety, definitely holding a qualification from Nebosh, that will be giving an edge over your competitors.
All right. Okay, I hope that's enough insight. But later on, okay, I'll be opening the platform again for a few more questions. And then, of course, like I said, we still have the raffle draw that I hope everyone is, staying in tune for. Now, at the moment, of course, we'd like to hear a few words, to formally close the speaking, or I mean, of course, to formally thank our speakers and our participants for the closing remarks. I would like to, of course, welcome our very own DISS Business Development Manager for Hsc Consultancy, none other than Miss LV Reyes. Miss LV?
Hello, thanks, Jessica. Guys, thank for speakers, students, guests, and my colleagues. Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us to this special event that our company DISS has prepared for us today. DISS second virtual alumni event. I hope some of you already attended when the COVID-19 was not there. We did it in a hotel, and this time this is a second virtual alumni event. Please allow me to introduce myself. My name is Alvi Reyes again. And as Jessica said, I'm the Business Development Manager in Hsc Consultancy at DISS. First, I would like to thank our team for working very hard to pull this event together. Our marketing specialist, Ms. May, and our business unit manager is Azhar and GK, Jessica as our host. To our speakers, without you, we cannot complete this event. Mr. Johnbosco, Ms. Ruth, Mr. Wendell, and Mr. Emmanuel, for giving your time by sharing your experience. And we are hoping that everyone here has enjoyed and has learned something from this occasion. Actually, I was also a student and working and took the opportunity to take a seat in safety courses. I did the auditor courses for the 3, and then I did the leadership and management courses in customer service and excellence, etc. We have to come to class to attend face-to-face training and study at night. The most of you are doing now, attend training at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. or every Friday, sacrificing our own personal agenda just to finish your course. But now with this pandemic, we learn different options of learning. With webinar class, e-learning, and blended courses, and all of that is now available. With DISS, I think my colleagues already explained earlier about this type of courses that we are offering. All the courses and training I took has taught me well, and it helped me to move up in my current position. Somehow, even if I'm not working as safety officer or a safety practitioner, I can say that I am using this knowledge by advising and guiding our customers. I'm very fortunate that I'm now in the capacity of a business development manager and handle training consultancy services. It is true that hard work really pays off. I have experience in hardship and struggle, which has allowed me to learn a lot of things because you know that it was not a smooth sailing, especially with our current situation. But COVID-19 didn't make us stop. Though the path of effort, I have always told myself that I have to take it as a challenge that made me stronger, more patient, at the same time, and being resilient. I hope you do also. I hope that you have appreciated my short story. And since this is alumni, and I'm also alumni, and also that achievements of others may be an instrument and inspiration to us. I hope you that you can share yours when you finish your class. You can be one of our alumni speaker and the next event. So guys, never stop learning because life never stops teaching. Thank you so much, everyone. And please follow us in social media account to get update about our promotions, events, and calendars. We have our Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. And any concerns, please message us. Any inquiries, it will help. We will send you the link in your email ID, or you can email us at info@diss.com.qa. Have a good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for your time, and congratulations in advance for those who will win our offer. Thank you. Till next.
Thank you, Miss Elvie. Thank you so much. All right. So I think everyone is very much, thank you again, Miss Elvie. We're anticipating the raffle draw. But before we move on to that, like I said, we have 6 lucky winners are coming home with international courses today. But before that, like I said, maybe I could ask maybe a couple more words from our speakers, maybe Mr. John Bosco, Miss Ruth, Mr. Wendell, or Mr. Emmanuel. Any last few words for our participants, our guests? Maybe you would like to say something? Because if not, we'll be moving on with the raffle draw. Miss May, I think we can move on with the. Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, I
Yes,
wanted to say, to everyone who are pursuing certification courses and who think that they should get more qualification. We always guide our student that the learning that you get from a certification, that is not the end. It is the beginning. So the learning you get in the class, you have to apply that practically in your organization, and then you will learn a lot more. Second thing is everybody should plan their career. Just like all the honorable speakers have said, they had planned their careers with different certifications, with different programs. So just like if you have done, or you're thinking of doing IGC, after that you can plan your career that, okay, whether you want to join an oil and gas company, a process-based company, a construction company, or you want to do consultancy. So based on that, you can plan that, okay, which courses are best suited to my career need and which course should I get. A lot of students, they make a mistake that, they try to complete all the courses in 3 months, but without having the practical knowledge, that is not beneficial for them. So, we have to plan it that when we should go for a diploma, it should not be immediately after the IGC. There should be some gap where you can practically learn things, because that is quite requiring a lot of detailed study and insight into the practical world as well. So just like, we plan something, we plan a trip, we plan our education, just like we have to plan our career as well. And it should not be a short-term goal that you plan maybe to achieve in 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years. It is a long-term goal that, okay, I want to become an Hsc manager in next 10 years. So that is where I would plan my certifications, my training, my soft skills, my management side skills for the Hsc management system as well. So this is how you would progress in your career, not with just one qualification, not with just one training. So it's a struggle. All the successful speakers that you are seeing today, they have worked hard to reach the ultimate goal. And I think for me, they are an inspiration for me as well, even being a unit manager. So that is the one thing and advice that I wanted to share with everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Azar. Thank you. All right. So I think it's safe to say, Miss May, I think it's safe to say we can move on with one of the most anticipated parts of our virtual alumni event. So as you can see, just to explain to our participants in our wheel here, Miss May has, of course, put in our email addresses to be much more accurate. Now, when we're doing the draw, basically we'll be drawing. We have 3 draws. Okay, first draw, second draw, and third draw, with 2 winners in particular. And then once, of course, you will be selected as a winner, please do wait for our email. Okay, DISS will be sending you the email in particular to the prize or the course that you will be getting. Okay. All right. So is everybody ready? Everyone present? Everyone alert? All right. So I think our first draw will be awareness courses. These are self-paced. So it's the first draw will be the safety officer introduction to key concept self-paced course. And the winner is Martin. Okay, the email address is martin7187@gmail.com. Congratulations. Okay, so I think we'll be taking note of that, Miss May, right? We're okay?
Yes, definitely. Yes.
Definitely. Okay. So I won't, prolong this. I know everyone is excited. Our next draw for the food safety awareness course, self-paced. The lucky winner will be taking home a food safety awareness course. Could it be? We have, all right. Okay, email address Arun Sundar. So Mr. Arun Sundar, congratulations. You have won a food safety awareness course. This is a self-paced course. Congratulations. That's our first draw. Now we'll go on with our second draw. Miss May, this is the Nebosh Hsc in Introduction to Incident Investigation.
Yes,
so we have,
correct.
So it's 2 winners for this one. So this is one course. Once again, we have Nebosh Hsc Introduction to Incident Investigation, self-paced. We have 2 winners. The first winner will be
No. We'll do another one. It's already won.
Oh, one already?
Yeah,
Oh,
Martin
yeah,
717. So we'll do another one. Let's give
We'll do
chance to
another one.
others. Yes.
Yeah, I
Give
got
chance
2
to
of them.
Let's give chance to others.
Give chance to others. Okay. Thank you, Martin. Quite a lucky draw. Okay, we have Abdul. Okay. Okay. This one. I don't know. I'm not familiar with the name, but congratulations. You just won a course for Nebosh Hsc Introduction to Incident Investigation. Another winner for this course, please. Me. You would do the honors. Hey, Sohail Elizabeth at gmail.com. Congratulations, you have just won Nebosh Hsc Introduction to Incident Investigation. Congratulations. That's the end of our second draw. Now, for our third raffle draw. This is AYIMA Environmental Sustainability Skill for Managers, self-paced. We have 1 winner for this. Once again, AYIMA Environmental Sustainability Skill for Managers, a self-paced course. Miss May, if you would do the honors. Everyone is watching the screen very hot, Right. I'm not sure about the name, but if you can see your email address there, congratulations. You just won our AYIMA Environmental Sustainability Skill for Managers self-paced course. And last but not least, we have the Nebosh International General Certificate in Occupational Health and Safety, Nebosh IG course. Blended learning, okay? We have 1 lucky winner. Guys, fingers crossed. Good luck. Congratulations.
Mr. CHM Morales at yahoo.com.
That's a really good course. Yeah, you have just won a Nebosh IG certificate in occupational health and safety. This is a blended learning course. Congratulations. So we have 6 winners in total. Everyone, I hope everyone is happy. So like I said, DISS will be contacting you directly via your email address. That has 1. And I think I don't know if there's any more few words from our speakers, from our unit managers, but we personally, of course, it's my pleasure to be hosting this event for you. This is our second virtual alumni event, and this will not be the last for sure. So like I said, DISS will be here for you. Like our unit managers have mentioned, DISS is here for you every step of the way towards your path of learning and, of course, upgrading yourself in any chosen field that you may have. Congratulations to our winners, and thank you so much for participating in our event. Thank you. everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you
Have
to
a
our
great
speakers.
day.
Have a
Thank you.
great afternoon. Enjoy
Thank you
the
so
rest
much
of
for
your
the
weekend.
time.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome all.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.